This is a debate we are forced to have far too often. Can we be doing more to protect our kids?
And that conversation's come up again after this week's shooting at the STEM school in Highlands Ranch that took the life of 18-year-old Kendra Castillo. But are armed teachers, security guards, and school resource officers really the answer?
Tonight, Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is going 360 on our schools and how to protect our kids.
Guns are without question a part of our culture, but do they belong in our schools at any level?
I just don't think adding to more guns is a good idea.
And I have a teacher who's qualified, an ex-Marine, an ex-law enforcement officer. Why aren't they allowed to have a firearm to protect their students?
We're going 360, starting with former state rep Jim Kerr. His children went to Columbine. He was in office during Deer Creek, and he says you can't legislate madness.
How do you legislate somebody who's determined to destroy others?
Kerr is a firm believer in armed deputies at every school, and he says we must find the resources to make it happen.
I think it should be budgeted. I think it should be a consideration. What's the most valuable thing that we have is our children. And, why aren't we protecting them to the best of our ability?
If not armed deputies, what about private security guards or armed teachers? President Trump has suggested regular training for armed teachers.
I want certain highly adept people that understand weaponry, guns.
But that idea is met with much skepticism.
What if, as a teacher, there's a student who overtakes you?
Teacher Amy Baca-Oler fears innocent children or teachers will get hurt.
What if you misplace your gun or set it down? Or if, there are people in their homes who have gun safeties and children find a way to get in and have access to those guns.
The shooters at the STEM school this week appear to have used guns stolen from home. They met their match in other heroic students willing to fight back.
Those young men were just incredibly courageous. If you think back to what happened on Flight 93, it's time to fight back.
But no one wants that to be the new normal.
There's not a person in this country that doesn't want this stuff to go away, to end.
Dave Walcher was the incident commander during Columbine.
There has to be better methods to intervene at an earlier point in time.
Countries like New Zealand have acted swiftly. They banned assault weapons after a shooting just 2 months ago, and it's now law. But in America, most acknowledge that's easier said than done.
I can see both sides of it.
Some teachers, who are also parents, are conflicted.
And I wouldn't want to be forced to be armed as a teacher. But then you have your kids there.
We're on the right side. This is the right thing to do.
State Rep Tom Sullivan lost his son during the Aurora Theater shooting, and he believes gun control is the answer. After this week's shooting, Sullivan offers a grim reality.
Mom and Dad, you need to begin to realize it's going to happen at your school, at your theater, at your church or synagogue. It's going to happen.
The solution is have people who are very well trained, armed, and are willing to protect others.
But the cost of armed deputies and metal detectors at every school have long been the hang-up for school administrators.
If I'm responsible for increasing achievement scores on tests, while I also have to talk about hiring SROs to protect schools, there's competing interests there. They're both important, they're both critical, but there's only so much money that I have to do that. And that's the biggest conversation we need to have.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
And as always, we really do want to hear from you. If you have a perspective you think we missed or something you want us to consider, email it to us at 360@thedenverchannel.com.